Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cherisse if this is your first time here. So, I just want to give you guys another little update. Lately, it's been a lot of updates, and I'm just trying to, keep sharing on here, about my life, even if it's nothing existential or philosophical. But, basically, guys, I have been off of the homestead I was living at for almost a week now, and I have just found that I am just flooded with energy. I have just been flooded with energy. I think a big part of it is kind of being distant from that environment because there was some drama stuff going on, and I had a bit of hurt feelings, so it wasn't a very good environment for me anymore. I think that's a big part of it. But I also was thinking today, and I was like, I wonder how much, and I bet it's a lot, that your body expends energy just to regulate your body temperature. And for anybody following, you already know, but if you're new here, I'll explain it. Basically, the homestead I was living on was off-grid, and I was living in this little tiny cabin. It has no power, no insulation, no plumbing, no heating, nothing. And I was just laying on a tiny mattress with my dog covered in fucking blankets. And there was only one night that it got so cold that I literally could not sleep, and it dropped down to 12 degrees that night. And when you're in a cabin with no insulation or heating, and basically just plywood on the walls to protect you from the cold, it's pretty much, it's probably almost the same temperature as outside, except during the daytime when it's actually colder inside of the cabin than outside, because outside has the sun. But anyway, this is where I've been living for the past 2 months, before I moved off of there a week ago. And I am so grateful for my time there. Especially at the beginning, it felt exactly like I was living a dream of mine that I'd had for a really long time. And I'm still grateful for that, even though that specific situation didn't work out. It actually taught me a lot about myself and kind of revamped my dreams, as well as gave me hope for a lot of things that I had given up hope on. I made a video about this. Actually, if you'd like to check it out, I will post a link in the description. And it was about how I was basically living a dream and a hope that I'd given up on. Just completely lost hope in. And it was a beautiful fucking experience, especially coming out of Utah and Salt Lake City. That was actually a very toxic place for me. Living with my brother was amazing and beautiful and so healing and nurturing for our personal relationship with each other. But living in Salt Lake City itself was not the best experience for me. And the job I was in, working at Home Depot, amazing company to work for. I just want to say that right now. Probably one of the best employers I've ever had was Home Depot. But that was not a good work environment for me. A little high-functioning autistic chick with extreme sensory issues. Home Depot was not a good work environment for me. But like I said, one of the best employers I've ever had. But I left the city and I came to Arizona, into the middle of nowhere, basically. I am living in a very small town. When I moved out here, I was living in a homestead off-grid. Probably about 20 minutes from the nearest town, and it was amazing and it was beautiful, and it helped me detox so much energy and bullshit and hurts and pains that I'd built up over the past year. So not even just in the 6 months that I was in Utah, but the time before that, because honestly, the past year and a half has been wildly tumultuous for me. I went through a really dark period in my life at the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 that actually led me to leaving my nomadic lifestyle, gypsy kind of lifestyle that I'd been in for like the past 4.5 years before that. It was just so dark that I needed help really bad. And so I ended up living with my brother in Salt Lake City to just receive support and have a good place to live where I could take care of myself and my dogs and just be loved on by somebody that I knew loved me unconditionally. My brother, I doubt he's watching this, but amazing motherfucker. And if he is watching this, Jesse, I love you so fucking much, and I'm so grateful for how much you helped me. He did the most to help me in a really dark point in my life, and I genuinely hope that I can return that to him or to somebody else someday. But anyway, guys, I left that nomadic lifestyle, started working a normal person job in Salt Lake City and living in an apartment. I went through a lot of healing there, as well as a lot of pain. It was kind of a consistently dark period of my life for the most part, not all the time. I went through a lot there, and just living in the city is not a healthy place for me. I am way too highly sensitive of an individual to be living in a city type environment. Even in like close confined types of neighborhoods, it's still really overwhelming for me. So I got out of the city, guys. I moved back into my 4Runner, and I was like kind of like heading right back into that nomadic gypsy lifestyle, which is what led me to Arizona instead of Utah. I've now lived in Arizona, Utah, Nevada, California, Oregon, and Washington. Not as many states as some of my other friends have been in, but that's a pretty good roster, I think, going for myself. But yeah, I came out here and I didn't really have a plan, and I didn't know what was going to happen. By the time I got here, I probably had less than $500 to live off of. Honestly, probably just a few $100s. I made that last for like 2 months, like a month and a half, I want to say. I made it last before I got a new job. Yeah, guys, I got another job. If you didn't know, if you haven't been watching, I got another job, and I am actually bartending now, and I'm almost a month into this job, and I just love it. I love it so much. I am just consistently, thoroughly impressed by the people that I work for and my work environment, the people I work with. It tends to be just one bartender every shift, unless it's like for big events. Which is a bit of responsibility, but it's a really small town bar, and it's a really easygoing environment, and it's just been honestly life-changing. I never thought that I'd be able to work a full-time job again, and it turns out that your environment plays a huge role in your mental health, guys. It plays a massive role in your mental health. Sometimes you just gotta find the right person to work for, the right work environment, the right place to live. Like, environmental factors are absolutely huge. And here I am living a somewhat normal lifestyle. I will never be a normal person. Like, I'm a weirdo, guys. Like, come on, get out of here. But I am thoroughly just enjoying this, and this stability that I'm creating in my life, as well as mental stability, because I am dealing with the chaos in my life and having a new job. I am going to be moving into a brand new living situation, the first place that I will be renting all by myself. It's a whole house. I mean, it's a very tiny trailer house, but I am actually doing this myself, and I'm just dealing with all of these changes and transitions extraordinarily well. That homestead didn't work out, and that sucked in its own way, but at the same time, I think that it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it rerouted me towards things that were more suited for me. I kind of learned while being there that, hey, I tend to do a little bit better living on my own, and more distant from other people, because of my sensitivities. So, hey, I got to experience something really beautiful, and now I know myself a little bit better and what environment is going to be better for me in a living situation, which was kind of something that I already knew, but you know what? I tried and I tested it, and my friends really helped me out by inviting me to their homestead and giving me a living situation during this transitional period, even though we didn't necessarily know that it was just a transitional period. So I'm going to be heading to work here in a little bit. I'm just feeling good, dude. I'm like pumped, full of energy. I've been staying in this little house, and it's basically a transitional house, not like a transitional house, you know. It's a lady's house that she's allowing me to stay in one of her rooms for free, actually. It was to help me get off the homestead because it wasn't a good situation for me, but I wasn't going to be able to move into my own spot quite yet. So I'm staying there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, if it takes me a little longer to save for starting up my utilities. I'm just in this big warm bed, and I've just been pumped, full of energy, and just excited to go to work every day. And even like a month in, I'm still excited to go to work every day. Like today, I got up today and I was just energized, and I listened to my morning affirmations, did yoga, got ready for the day. And then it's like 4 o'clock and I'm like, I just want to get out of here. I want to go, dude. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to get out of the house. And my work doesn't even start till 6. So I just came to the park. I'm sitting in my car and just gonna chillax here for a bit until my job starts and meditate, because sometimes I can be just like so ready, go. And I forget to meditate, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do find that oftentimes when I'm in that high energy mode, taking the time to kind of make myself slow down a little bit and meditate and put up energetic boundaries, that has been a big part of this job, is putting up energetic boundaries. But just taking that time to slow down when I'm in that like speedy kind of go mentality has actually helped to improve my mental health on days like that for the better, because sometimes I can feel that go and then I don't spiritually nourish myself, basically, and then I can kind of hit a wall or something might happen, and it's like I'm just kind of like, woo, and then it's like you hit that and you're like, my energy just gets flustered and like, well, what do I do now? So, like I said, I've been slowing myself down. I'll meditate a little bit after I finish this video. But one thing that I did want to talk a little bit about was energetic boundaries and what I do for that, because I am in a job that requires a lot of social contact. Nowhere near as much social contact as my last job with Home Depot. Because there's literally like hundreds, if not thousands of people who go into that store every day. And in this bar, it's like you might have like 10 to 20 people in a shift, you know? And you talk a little bit more to people, but a lot of times as well, dealing with alcohol, you can be dealing with a lot of other spirits as well. So, as well as other people's own demons that they're facing and dealing with. So having energetic boundaries in a job like this is extremely important. Extremely important. Just the same as, honestly, I think having a YouTube channel, having energetic boundaries is important. I think in relationships in general, going out places, if you are a highly sensitive person, I so recommend learning how to have energetic boundaries. And I would like to make a more extensive video on this, but for now I will just give you guys a very simple talk through of what I personally do to create energetic boundaries before a work shift as well as at the end of a work shift. So at the beginning of a work shift, before I even go in, sometimes it's while I'm driving, sometimes I'll do it outside, sometimes I'll do it before I even leave the house. You can pick the time. I generally try to do it before I walk into my work though. Before I even try being around people in general, like if I go to the gas station and get coffee, I will generally try to do this before that. So what I do, guys, is you can do it with your eyes open, but I close my eyes and I imagine that I have this kind of like a super suit, okay? It's like a super suit and it's hanging up in a closet, but the super suit is made of light, just like sparkly light. And I take it out the closet and I put one foot in. It's kind of like a whole onesie, you know, it covers your feet, your head, your hands, everything. So I put one foot in, I put the other foot in, I take up the other side, I put my arm through it, I take up the other side, I put my other arm through it, and then I zip them up. I zip it up like a onesie, and I have a hood and I put it over my head and I zip it all the way up to the top. And then I just imagine that light is just, as soon as I zip it up, it's like, whew. And it's this energetic field that's around me that allows me to separate myself from other people's things, other entities' things, and just the bullshit, or even just anything that you don't really want to be dealing with in your energetic body. I also love to wear black tourmaline. I have a black tourmaline and malachite necklace that I have started wearing to work. That is very, very, very protective, as well as quartz is very protective in a work environment. I need to kind of fix up my black tourmaline necklace, so I actually have it in my pocket right now, but I am wearing my quartz as well as some kyanite and my little Ethiopian cross here. Just having little trinkets like that, even if you don't believe in it, or even if you think that it's placebo effect, placebo is actually very powerful. I believe personally that it is more than placebo. I think the energy and intention and items hold energy. Everything is very powerful. And the more intention and power that you give to things, the more powerful it becomes. I actually even charge like my earrings and my jewelry and such with positive intentional energy and protective energy. So that is just one of the things that I do. And then another thing that I do is I talk myself through, and I will do this oftentimes in the morning. Generally, I don't need to do it in the morning because I do this before I go to bed. So this would be a little bit more after I go, after I'm done with the job, or I'm laying in bed, or even if you just want to cut it off right after. I call back my power and my energy to me. And I say that I cut all energetic cords that no longer serve me. And I kind of imagine in my head like doing this like ninja moves and like gathering all these cords around my body until it's like clumped together, and then I cut it. And sometimes if it feels like those cords feel extra powerful, like I will just be like, and I burn the ends, and I'll imagine just taking a lighter to both sides and burning the ends so that those cords are just completely disintegrated. Sometimes I will do this with specific people as well that I might have encountered in that day that I felt like the cords feel extra powerful. Just saying the person's name, that I cut all energetic cords to so-and-so that no longer serve me, and release them with a grateful heart. And I also like to say that I release all energy that is not mine back up to source or God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. I release it with a grateful heart to source for transformation. Rather than, a lot of people like to say, I return this to sender. You can totally do that. That's up to you. I personally, guys, like to take any energy that doesn't feel good, or even if I just don't want it in my space, and take that energy and give it up to God to transform it, because God can totally transform that shit. Spirit can totally fucking transform that shit, and you don't always just have to send it back to people in like kind of a hurtful or prideful or stabbing kind of a way, you know? But you know what? You do you. I do that sometimes as well, but other times I just kind of realize that a lot of the things that we feel are not directly stemming from other people, but entities that are feeding off of their energy. So I try not to direct hate back at people just because I felt hate from them in some way, because I realize that a lot of times that hate that they are brewing in is not their own, and they are simply not aware of that. And I would rather wish for their healing and to take that energy and give it up to God or to universe and basically pray for them in their healing. So that is what I do, guys. I don't know if I left anything out, but yeah, I also I recommend prayer. The power of prayer. I am not a religious person anymore. If you follow me, you probably know this, but I am very spiritual. I know there's so much things out there right now about fuck being spiritual, and I'm like, you know what? I can actually totally get a lot of those videos where it's you don't need to be spiritual or spirituality is a fad. I'm like, you know what? I can get that too, but I also think that people saying that can also be a fad, and I just think that you should live your life. It doesn't really matter too much, but I love that people are also exploring that kind of philosophical exploration of questioning everything. So if that's where you're at, totally vibe with it, guys. But anyway, the power of prayer, guys. Prayer. That's where it's at. That's where it's fucking at. I think prayer is so powerful because it already incorporates you taking your power back as well as incorporating surrender. It's the perfect mixture for me, as well as it tends to incorporate some amount of gratitude, because if you're praying to a higher entity or whatever you pray to, by offering that prayer, it already kind of has this energy of gratitude. Even if you're asking for it, you're kind of, even if it's a subconscious, or you might not recognize that has an energy of gratitude. I genuinely believe prayer has an energy of gratitude because you're offering something up. Even if it's your hurt and your sadness, you're offering it up to something that is greater than yourself. And in a kind of way, you're hopeful and grateful for it helping you if it does, you know? So even if you don't always believe in that. So prayer, I do recommend praying before you go into your job. Praying for it to be a good day. And one of the ways that I enjoy to pray is gratefulness, with actual conscious, direct gratefulness. Because I know that a lot of times when we pray, we like to ask for things. I honestly have kind of stopped doing that as much, because I realize that sometimes when you ask for something, you get it, and it's not always exactly in the way that you thought. You're like, God, please give me strength to do this. And God's like, okay, you want strength? We're gonna make you strong as fuck. Let's go, bitch. Oh, so yeah. Be careful what you wish for, kind of a thing, but also don't just be afraid of it. So I've definitely tried to incorporate a little bit more of humility and just gratefulness when I pray for things, as in you know what? Thank you for the strength that you have given me. Rather than for asking for more, I've been given enough. I've been given enough. I've been given enough patience. I've been given enough resilience. I've been given enough assertiveness. I've been given enough. And thank you for all that you've given me in that field. And I, maybe it is a little bit of placebo because of what I believe with my prayer intention. But I honestly feel when I offer prayers based in being grateful for what I already have, rather than asking for more of something, it kind of seems like the universe sends me a little bit less, intensely challenging situations, Because sometimes when you ask for certain things, the universe will send you challenges, so you will create that in yourself. If you know, you know. So, yeah, that's why I kind of started doing that. So sometimes I'm like, you know what, universe, thank you. God, thank you for giving me a great day at work today. Thank you for all the patience that you've given me and all the inner growth that I've gone through. And thank you for making me like the person that I am to be able to deal with any situation that comes up in my day and to handle it wisely and assertively and with grace and ease and just move with the flow of the energies in my life. Like, rather than being like, God, please give me the strength to get through this job because, these people, it's a different energy. But like I said, you do you, and we all learn and grow in our own ways. And perhaps when you pray in a certain way, you find completely different successes and lessons and all that fucking shit. Everybody has their own story. But anyway, guys, I love how like half the time I don't even know what I'm gonna like fucking talk about, but then I just like start like, let's just talk about life. And I'm like, hey guys, I found something fun, extra fun to talk about and share with you. So yeah, guys. I think that it's like it's 6:50, it's 5:15, so I have about 30 minutes to meditate and get all zened out, which I'm actually already pretty zened out right now, just talking to you guys. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say bye, guys. Fucking nerd. Thank you for being here. Please do like and subscribe if you have not already. I am so excited to have any new subscribers. I just today or last night or something like went up like 10 subscribers in like a few hours and was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. More people are along for the journey. So I am so excited to share with you guys and have people to share with. So yeah, I hope I see you next time and have a fantastic day. Okay, love you. Bye.